Good day. So today we are busy with grade 7. We'll see fractions, how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide common fraction. So I will show you the method how we do it. In this side here, we start with the letter as well. The letter is the same thing. It's the same as the number in mathematics. So we have A over B. We say fraction when we have this bar in the middle with this line in the middle, so that we have our numerator and our denominator. This one is our numerator, we call it numerator, and this one here we call it denominator. So now A over B plus C over D. How to multiply when it's how to add two fractions. So when we have this sign plus in the middle, we do cross multiplication, and this one here. So A times D, we keep the sign in the middle, plus B times C, over B times D, over B times D. So it's the same thing that we will apply here now when we have numbers now. So 3 over 2 plus 2 fifths. So okay, 3 times 5, we have 3 times 5, we keep the sign in the middle, plus 2 times 2. 2 times 2, then at our denominator, we times the denominator, the two denominator together. 2 times 5. 2 times 5. Now it's just easy for us to know, to give the answer, because we already know our multiplication table. We're in grade 7, we're old enough. 3 times 5 equal to 15, plus, we keep the sign, 2 times 2 equal to 4. 2 times 5 equal to 10. Then we know 15 plus 4 equal to 19 over 10. So here we cannot do anything because we cannot simplify, because this one is not a multiple of 10. We only have the multiple of 10 down here. So it's also the same thing when it is a subtraction. With the subtraction, we apply also the same law, cross multiplication, we just keep the sign in the middle. A times D, as we did with our addition as well. So now here, the only difference between adding fraction and the subtraction fraction is only the sign in the middle, and times C times B over B times D. So the only things change is only the sign here in the middle at our numerator. So we will apply the same law here. 4, so cross multiplication and denominator multiplication. So 4 times 6, we keep the sign in the middle here, minus 5 times 3 over 3 times 6. Then, now, here, 4 times 6 equal to 24, minus 5 times 3 equal to 15, over 3 times 6 equal to 18. So now, our answer is, here is 14 over 18. 14 over 18. Can we simplify here? We can't, because this one is a multiple of 7 and this one is a multiple of 6 or 3. We cannot simplify. If it was both sides, we can simplify so far as well. So this is our first method that we use for us to get this one. Also, we can also solve this one here without using the cross multiplication. Maybe it can be difficult for others. So we will use one method that we can do this one as well. So another method that we can do is to have a common denominator. So we must have a common denominator so that we can just keep the denominator and we just gonna subtract our numerator. So here we have a different denominator. We have a B and we have a D. It's not the same thing, so we must make it the same thing. For us to make it the same thing as we have B here and D, so the same thing that it will be BD there. Now we're gonna multiply this one by D. Then if we multiply our denominator by something, we must multiply the numerator also by the same thing. It's like we did nothing. Now we multiply our denominator by D and our numerator by D as well. So down there we get, you can see BD. So here for us to get BD now, we must do what also? We must times this one here. We must times here by B and this one here by D, so that we can get the same thing at our denominator. So when we times this one, we will get at our numerator A times D equal to AD over B times D is BD plus BC over BD. So we're getting the same thing. That is, we call common denominator. Common means the same thing. So we get the same thing at our denominator. So here we can just keep our denominator as it's common. We just keep this one, BD. We do nothing, you don't times because you already have something common. Then we just add our numerator, AD plus BC. So it's the same thing that we will do now if we have numbers now. Because here we work with our letters for us to understand the phenomenon, what is going on. So here we have a different denominator. It's like we have A and B. So we will do the same thing. We must make this one the same number. Which number can we go? So this one is a multiple of 2, this one is a multiple of 5. So we can say if we multiply this one by him, we multiply this one by 5, we will get what? 10 here. So if we multiply our denominator by 5, we must multiply our numerator by 5 as well. So here we already have 10. So we must make this one also 10 as well. So as we have 5 here, for us to make 10, we must just times by 2. And if we times our denominator by 2, we times this one also by 2. So here also we get 10. So it's going to be the same denominator. So now here we got 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 equal to 10. Now plus 2 times 2, 4 over 5 times 2 is what? Is 10. So you see now we get the same thing. It's like when we have BD and another BD there. So we do what? We did what? We keep the same denominator, 10, 10. You keep the same denominator as the denominator are already common. And then we just add our numerator. So 15 plus 4, this is 19 over 10 is the same thing, the same answer that we got when we did cross multiplications. So it's the same thing. If we use a negative as well, we will do the same thing, only the sign in the middle will change because it's the same process, it's the same phenomenon. So now here I can even show, I can try to show you guys how to do it as we have 3 and 6. So let's go now. Let me say, okay, I have 3 and 6. In which number can I go to make this one common denominator? As I can see this one here, let me try. We can multiply this one by 6. If I multiply this one by 6, my numerator is also by 6. I will get what? 18 here. So for me to get the same number here, to get 18 here, I must do what? I must multiply this one by 3 and multiply also by 3. So 4 times 6 is 24. 3 times 6 equal to 18 minus 15 over 18. And I get a common denominator. I do what? You keep the denominator as the denominator common and you just add as here it's subtraction. You just subtract our numerator. So this one, 24 minus of 15 equal to what? 14 over 18. The same thing that we got. So now with the multiplication, the law change. So now here with multiplication, when the denominator are common, when we have a sign here, multiplication, we do what? We don't do cross multiplication. We just multiply straight line, straight over straight. So here, A times C A times C over B times D. This is our answer. So if we multiply this one, 1 times 3, 1 times 3 over 2 times 4. This is 1 times 3 is 3, 8. So it's the way we get our answers as well with our first method, that is only straight. So now if I want to use again the common law for me to make this denominator first common, then I will make the denominator common as we did in the previous example here. So now here for me to make this one common, I have a B, I have a D there. I will multiply this one by D, multiply my numerator as well by D, and here I will multiply by B, and this one also by B. So here I get A D over B D times C B over B D. So as my denominator are common, I do what? I will just keep my denominator BD over AD times CB. So I will apply the same thing here. Now for me to make this one here, the closest number that I can go to is, I will times this one here by 4, and I will times this one here. If I times this one by 4, I get what? 8. So for me to get 8 here, I must times this one by 2. And I do the same thing with my numerator. 1 times 4 equal to 4. And now 2 times 4 equal to 8 times, what I get here is 6 over, what I get here? 8. So now as I have 8 there, and I just keep this denominator, I have my 8, and 4 times 6 is 24. Can I leave it like this? No, because I can divide this one, is the same matter. I can divide this one by 8, and here also, okay, I can divide by 8 as well. So I can say, okay, let me divide this one by 4, and this one by 4 as well. So divide by 4, I got what? 6 over there. Divide by 4, I got what? 2 is 3. So now, if now I'm using division now, let me use division. I'm going to use now division with this one here. And for me to divide this one here, A over B and divide by C over D. So now I have A over B, and now with the division I'm going to change now. This line is longer than other, then divide by B over D. Now here it's another thing. Now when you have something already, the fraction divide by another fraction, you get A over B. Now here it will change, and for me to remove this bar, I will have multiplication this side here, multiplication, and then here now this one will transform. This one will go up, this one will come down. So here, for me, when I change this one, I change this by multiplication. Here, as my denominator here was D, now it will change, the D will go up. It's going to be now my numerator, and now my B that was the numerator will become a denominator. B is how you do it. So here, 1 over 2, and the line, this is the division, over 3 over 4 equal to half. Then I remove this one when I put the multiplication. So the lower, this one here will become a denominator, this one will become a numerator. So 4 over 3. Then 1 times 4 is 4 over 2 times 3 is 6. Is how you solve the division. Okay. Stop this one so that we can make the